expense with its health insurance. And if we'll look on line 12, it says number of household members times 50. And so again, it was just me, so $50. Housing is, I'm going to give you a choice on housing, and everyone usually has a really good time with that. So you're going to go to Zillow.com, and it will look like this, and you will enter in whatever zip code I don't think you have to have, I think you can put city and state, and it will pull it up. But if you're doing Dexter, then it's 63841, and it's going to give you a result that looks like this. And so what I want you to do is find a home wherever that may be, and you would just click on the house, and it's going to somewhere on the screen give you an estimated payment for that particular home. You're going to use that payment as your mortgage payment. And so that's what we're going to put in under on line 10 as rent or house payment. And this one was $791. So I'm just putting that one down for instance. Okay. And then I can X out of that and come back to my spreadsheet. You can spend a little bit more time on that. Don't just go to the first home that you see and pick one just to get a number. Make it a little fun and have do some comparison shopping and find a place that you would actually like to live or be interested in living one day. Okay, so transportation. If you're single, you must choose one vehicle. Now on here I said if you're married, you must find 2 vehicles. You don't have to do that because not every married couple has 2 vehicles. So make sure you write down the amount of each. So on the next 3 slides, I have for you some vehicles. You have new vehicles, although those are not new anymore, but new vehicles and then used vehicles. So your choice is to find the vehicle and again, write down the payment, insurance, and fuel costs. And you're going to plug that in to up here at fixed expenses. My car payment is on line 13, my car insurance line 14, but then my fuel cost is going to be on line 23. And again, if you have a spouse, remember the spouse's car payment and car insurance will be on fixed, and then the spouse's fuel cost will be under variable. So let's say I chose the Mazda 6. My car payment would be $216. I don't like dealing with change, so I'm going to make that $220. My insurance is going to be $120. And then the fuel cost is $148. So I'm just going to round that up and put $150. Okay. Now, if I look over at my spreadsheet, if you'll notice I'm at $1,816. It's totaled it for me. So this is the benefit of having the spreadsheet at the same time as you're doing the slideshow or the PowerPoint, is because it will actually total it for you and you can see where you're at and if you're running out of money. Hopefully you won't at the point you're being at. In class, a lot of times students if we're all picking a career we want, then we're usually picking a career that pays well. So we don't usually run out of money when we're doing a budget. When we're doing this in class, some students get careers that they didn't necessarily choose or would want. And so with that comes a salary that they wouldn't want. So then they run out of money as they're putting in expenses because they chose the best vehicle that was on those 3 slides. Or they went to Zillow and they picked a $300 home, $300,000 home instead of a $100,000 home. Or they picked a home instead of renting. Okay, so the next thing we have here are some choices. Phone line and house. You do not have to choose this anymore. A lot of people don't have a landline any longer. So that's an optional choice now. You can choose between cable or satellite dish, and you're going to put that on line 26. So let's say I choose satellite TV and the cost was $29.99. So I'll put 30 there. Cell phone is my choice is an iPhone or pay as you go. So either $100 or $30. I'm going to go ahead with $100. And then internet, we have wireless access or high speed 45. Well, of course we want high speed. And I've had students before skip the cable and satellite option because they'll just do high speed internet and think that they'll watch YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that. So they don't even need cable satellite TV anymore. So that's an option for you too. Okay, so we're at the last slide. And it gives you some configurations or some, to tell you some formulas to figure out the remaining things. But what I would tell you to do is where it says you decide, look at how much money you have left now. So if I'm looking at, stretch this out a little bit, my monthly income is $2,500. And then my expenses are $1,991. So that leaves me with just roughly $509, right? Okay, so now I know what I'm dealing with here. Because if I had have gone through each of these and put $100, $100, then I would have ran out of money quickly with $500 left. Okay, so my goal here is, all right, how do I want to break that remaining amount of money up into this? I like to look at things visually, so I like to leave the numbers over here and sort of create a tally or an ongoing balance. So let's say I put $50 or $100 in entertainment. So now I know I'm at $409, correct? Eating out, let's say I go ahead and put $100 there too. So now I'm at $309. Clothing, we don't buy a whole lot of, that's something on a budget that is flexible. You could change that at different periods of the year. Now let's get rid of that $9. So I'm going to put $59 there. And so now I have exactly $250. Okay, so I hope you see what I'm doing here. So every time I put a number in down here, I'm taking it off of my total here. So I still know I've got $250 to spend. Gifts and contributions. It's always good to give, so I'm going to put 50 there. And that's 200 there. Personal care and vacation and miscellaneous. So what I'm going to do is I have $200 left. I'm going to put $100 in miscellaneous and take that extra $100 and put up here in savings. Now, I could have put the $200 here and left savings alone, and that would have been fine. Then that way I know this was spendable. I'm hoping that savings is not spendable, that I don't want to dip into that. Okay, so if you see what happened, we don't need this anymore. This totaled up all of our expenses for us, and we are at $2,500, and our monthly income is $2,500. The goal here on this, and this is why it says should equal total monthly income, is just like when we did the smaller budgets on the earlier exercise, is a zero-based budget. It's not that you spend every dollar, but you know where every dollar is, and it is accounted for. So even though we've got $100 left in miscellaneous, I don't have to spend that. And even though I put $350 in savings, that doesn't mean I'm going to take it out. Okay, so in the variable expenses, these are things I've just budgeted. They're not necessarily how much things will cost. Maybe my electricity will be lower. Maybe it will be higher. This is a budget, so it's never concrete, but it is pretty close. Okay? So I hope that this helped get you guys through this assignment. Again, if you have any questions, email, but try your best to get through it. There's no wrong answers. Just do your best to make sure that this equals this. The two yellows should be the same. Okay?